Today I want to go over the top 10 facts that tourists need to know when going to Morocco. I've recently come back from a 3-week stay and this is my third time having gone to Morocco, so I wanted to share some of the top 10 facts and also mistakes that you can avoid because I have gone through them. So number one is carry tissue. And so when I say tissue, I'm meaning little packs of Kleenex that are easy to grab from your pocket or your purse. Fact is, the public washrooms in Morocco, a lot of them do not have toilet paper. It is so helpful to carry your own, even just those little packs of Kleenex. And it has served me well over my past 3 visits every single time. I have used it every single time. Fact number 2 is that Moroccan tea is served everywhere. And if you ever have the chance to have tea with a local, absolutely accept the tea and drink the tea. It is an amazing experience, but even if you're ordering it in a cafe or anything like that, it is absolutely delicious. It is the mint tea. And what I learned this time in Morocco was that there's 6 varieties of mint grown throughout different regions. The tea actually tastes quite different and it is excellent. Stick to the bottled water. The fact is, the water coming out of the taps in Morocco may taste different to us. So each time I've gone to Morocco, I stick to the bottled water, and they're very generous with their bottled water as well. If you're in a cafe and you order coffee, you always get a bottle of water with it. Also may be that the water out of the tap could cause stomach issues for people that aren't used to it. So I've stuck with the bottled water on purpose, and I did make the mistake of using tap water to do my teeth before, and I did end up getting a little bit sick on my second trip there, and I pinned it down to the water. So I stick to the bottled water, and it's easy. You can get bottled water everywhere there, and it's very reasonably priced. Here's a fact about Morocco, is that coffee is just as common as tea there. However, in the coffee shops, they're mostly frequented by men. So in the evenings, you can see all these coffee shops and open air coffee shops, and there's many men in the shops, and they are predominantly watching soccer or football on the big screen TVs. So many of the coffee shops, the chairs are facing the street because there's a lot of people watching going on. In several cities or little towns, there sometimes is coffee shops that are completely dedicated to the women, and so that they can go and enjoy their evenings and not have to worry about the boisterous soccer screaming. The coffee culture is huge in Morocco. If you are eating a meal in community, use your right hand to feed yourself. The fact is that many Moroccan families will eat dinner off of a communal plate, and they actually eat with their hands. If you're enjoying a meal with a Moroccan family, eat with your right hand, as it is considered the eating hand. The left hand is reserved for cleanliness and hygiene activities. Couscous Fridays. Every Friday in Morocco would be considered a religious day. Families enjoy a couscous meal every Friday, and it's often served with buttermilk as well. Many times on a Friday, if you are attempting to go to shops or out and about, you may run into that the shops are closed and everything on Friday, so people are going to prayer. And at times I've been there and people are spilling out onto the streets from the mosques praying, and at one point, the traffic stops. Traffic has to stop because people were overflowing from a mosque wanting to pray. So it was absolutely amazing to see because all traffic stopped and nobody was in a rush. They just patiently waited for the prayer to be finished and to people to move off the street. It's recommended to dress modestly in Morocco, and actually, I really take this to heart. I feel like I can't travel to Morocco in the hot season. So between April to September is not a good time for me because I don't do well in the heat and it does get very hot. I like to travel to Morocco between October and April when it's cooler and that I can manage the heat better and then still dress modestly. There's many different ways to do that, and there's lots of different robes that you can wear that are very thin, and they would protect you from the sun anyway. So it's really recommended to dress modestly and you may or may not see people doing this, especially in the more touristy areas, but it is a sign of respect. So this one is the biggest one for me. Driving in Casablanca is not for the faint of heart. In fact, I've never driven myself in Casablanca and I never will. I use a lot of the different transportation types like the bus and cabs and private drivers, as well as the train, and as well as the regular train and the bullet train. Driving in Casablanca and getting into the traffic is just a whole adventure in itself, and one you're lucky to get out of. I actually don't even, I sit in the back and I have to look out the side window. I have a downloaded word game on my phone that I just concentrate on playing. I don't usually look out the window and watch, and I certainly don't look out the front window. Driving is very complex in Casablanca, and there is so many horns like you've never heard before, and there is many different types of vehicles on the road, and there's pedestrians, people, children, everything. On the highways, they no longer allowed animals, so there's no donkeys or cows on the road, but in the smaller, like in the more neighborhood parts, you may run into that. And the taxis also are trying to make a living, so they're going faster and things like that. Driving in Casablanca is like nothing I've ever seen, and I still don't understand the roundabouts. But I highly recommend getting a word game on your phone and just concentrating on your app and not looking out the window. I have to say that every person that drives in Casablanca is exceptionally skilled. They rarely have accidents, and traffic does flow and you get to your destination, but it is quite an adventure. Bargaining in the souks is common, so make reasonable offers. So if you're going into a souk, then just remember that you're meant to bargain in there when you would like to make a purchase. So take your time and start with a decent amount that you think you can wiggle with, and then just talk your way through it. It's actually kind of fun if you think about it as a little bit of an activity, and don't hold too much commitment to your product, but maybe try with something or a couple things you're not super invested in. Give it a try, and most of the souks in Morocco are extremely reasonable. This is the one in Marrakesh, and it actually is a little more expensive, but a lot of the prices are still reasonable depending on the products. But have fun with it. Casablanca is great, but it's really not all it's cracked up to be. If you're going with a romanticized version of this city, you're not going to find it there. And in fact, if you had to skip Casablanca, that would be okay. There is so much more to see in all of the other cities around. I've actually never been on a tour, but I highly recommend it, and I can't wait to try one and be guided through some local gems. I have 3 fun facts for you to wrap up this video. If you get a chance, if you like a mojito, the world's greatest mojito is in Morocco. And I don't have an actual place to recommend because you can literally get it everywhere. So consider ordering a mojito when you go out. I think it's because it is the land of mint and they properly make a simple syrup. So their tea is filled with sugar as well, but they properly do this simple syrup, and it absolutely blew my mind. I have to have a mojito every time I go. Probably in some places you can get alcohol in it, but I just get a virgin mojito, and it's absolutely the best I've ever had. Another fun fact is to consider bringing home some spices. These are easy to pack. They are the most flavorful spices that I've ever had. And so I pre-pack Ziploc freezer bags and then I fill them up and bring them home in my checked luggage. If you're touring around Morocco and you see the outer parts of the building, like sometimes they may not look as well maintained as you may be used to. A little fun fact is inside, many of them look like small palaces. These 10 facts for tourists going to Morocco have come about from my own trials and tribulations, having visited there 3 times now. So I'm sharing these with you so that you won't make the same mistakes I did. If you follow these 10 facts, you will be well prepared to enjoy your trip to Morocco. Have fun.